We have Lady Gaga transitioning from music to movies now, but you kind of pioneered that with Moonstruck, which I love. What's the secret to that transition? And I also want to know, how many takes was that famous snap out of it slap? Was that a real slap, or how often did you get
It was really only a couple, and the reason was that right before the last one, Norman came up and said, "Do it twice." And because Nikki wasn't expecting it, and I slapped him really hard. Norman said, "Do it twice and do it hard."
And I remember we spoke with you guys a couple times before on WTOP. You said
my hometown.
Yeah, you said you drove past the monuments every morning going to Sidwell Friends and everything, and now history's alive. Recount the story, both of you guys, of that initial. You said it was a G chat, right? You said Lynn sent you a G chat and said, "I've just read this amazing book." Do you remember this?
Yeah, I sent a not sober G chat from Mexico saying I'm watching Mad Men season 1 on DVD and reading this really great book on Alexander Hamilton. I think there's something here.
And of course, I thought that Mad Men would change my life. And I think I just read the wrong line.
That's awesome. And also, you've sort of come full circle with this. I mean, you mentioned the president in the White House. It started with that poetry jam at the White House.
Yeah.
So what's it like now looking back at that event? You said, "You guys laugh, but I'm writing a musical about Hamilton." And now look at you. Now you're getting honored with all the lifetimers.
Yeah, it's funny. That moment was sort of a microcosm of our entire experience, right? I tell you the pitch for the musical, everyone laughs, like, very cute. This is like a funny YouTube video. And then people get swept up in the story because it's an incredibly compelling life story. And by the end of the song, they're like, wait, but what happened with that guy? and so that 4-minute experience, which was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, has sort of been the experience of the show.
Yeah, Alex, obviously, who was a big part of that moment, he was the one smiling very hard on the piano. I say to these guys, but like, what if they had really biffed that performance? If you guys had nailed that, we're definitely not here.
We're definitely not here.
But you are.
Yeah.
Somehow we did.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Would love to know, Mr. Glass, more about your growing up in Baltimore and sort of the music education you received at a young age up there. And how did you think growing up in that city sort of shaped you as a musician?
Well, I got a lot of the very basic musical ideas from the Peabody, and I also knew I had to get out of there. So I wanted to be in a bigger environment. And I went to Chicago first, and I ended up in New York.
Yeah.
I came back. I played very rarely in Baltimore. I played in Washington a lot of times. I had an opera here a few years ago, symphonies, and I played concerts here. So and Washington has changed a lot in the last 10, 15 years. I think the Kennedy Center has had a lot to do with that.
What'd you learn from Miles Davis back when you were working with him?
Okay. I learned from Miles Davis that he was also learning from us. That's why when he turned his back on an audience after he did a solo, he wanted to listen to the band. That was just before speakers and everything took over. It got louder and louder.
So this is a dream come true, to be into the entertainment business and getting this good attention.
Truly living your dream.
Behind
Yes,
you.
it is.
Hey. I have not seen you yet.
Kelly Clarkson.
Like Brandon said, he was in his robe and he saw you, and I was like, I think we were supposed to be a surprise. I was like, not now. I know. I was like, well, not. And we just ordered tea, and they literally happened to be passing our room right when the tea came. Sorry.
So what was that because of you duet like with her?
Hello. Like the fact that I got to sing with my hero
So much
and a song I
fun.
wrote when I was 16. When I was listening to all her, so yeah, it's pretty amazing.
You look
I hope you like the
amazing.
song. I've never sang the song that I'm singing tonight.
Can't wait.
So
Don't tell me what it is.
just
I
tell me
wanna
you
know.
like it anyway.
Can you tell us what it is?
Even if I suck. Should I
No.
say?
Reba,
earmuffs,
No,
No.
Okay, here, watch.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
That one. Got the red.
On a completely different topic.
It's not mine. You can have it.
Reba,
Why I love her.
when people are talking about your career, there's been so many paths. Do you want to be known as the singer, the entrepreneur, the actress, the Colonel Sanders? Where do you fall?
I want to be a person who loved to entertain. I want them to remember me as a loving, giving person that loved to have a great time.
Tell me about, not only is Reba such a talented, groundbreaking musician, but talk about how just as a person, such a class act and why that goes so far.
I guess it's just her upbringing. She comes from that ranch in Oklahoma, and just she's minded her manners along the way. But she's down to earth, and at the same time, gets around as much as anybody we know.
Reba's a cowgirl, but she's as honest as it can be. She gets mad, she'll let you know, but if she loves you, She'll stick by you and back you up. You know, she's
authentic.
that kind of
you
gal.
know, there's a lot to be said about authenticity, and she's as real and authentic as it gets.
And on the music side of things, just how do you think she helped change the trajectory of country? Because I think, you know, along with you guys, Garth, Reba, Alan Jackson, I mean, that era, you guys took it into, and it went global and mainstream, and now everybody listens to country. But talk about Reba's piece in that, and why you think she connected with the audience.
Reba's always been really big for women's rights and the presence of women in country music and other places as well. She really does push that and stands up for it, and she honors it as well.
She had a head start on us too. I mean, when Ronnie and I got together, Reba was already hitting a big lick. So she threw us on as an opening act on her tour, and it was our chance to get in front of thousands of people. And then we screwed up and had some hits and did some co-headlining tours with her. And of course, we're still playing in Vegas together now and become great friends. It's great history.